Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Graham. How are you? You driving anywhere interesting? So as you can see, I got a bit of work done over the weekend. I've got these double slips in here. That's going to be my video coming out this Friday, the installation of these and the points. I've yet to do the control board for it, which will also be in the video. It's probably going to be quite a long video this week. It's already up to 17 minutes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit these points, and these are going to be the exits out to the steam shed and the TMD. I dug out my old Hornby turntable, which I'm going to convert that to DCC. I'm going to use an auto reverser on it and put a chip in it to control it via the DCC controller. That'll be probably next week's video. So who we got in the house then? Hi Andrew, Lone Wolf, Pete. How is everyone? It's a glorious afternoon here in Donegal. Sun shining, bright blue skies, nice warm sunshine. How was everyone's weekend? Anybody do anything exciting? So I was able to get out here over the weekend and do a little bit. Right. Need to trim a few of these sleepers. Right, so I'm using the standard 6-foot way spacing on these tracks here. Yeah, I did. COVID cut. It was actually November when I last had a haircut. Yeah, I've noticed my hair doesn't grow as quick anymore and it's not as thick as it used to be. All right, so this is the position I want this point in. So I use my little pin vise to mark where the frog is, or the frog wire goes down, where I'm going to, oh, this is actually one of these points. Let's see if I have another one. So this is one of these points that don't actually have a break in it, in the rails, that you normally cut the crosswire. Just going to see if I have another one, or I'll just have to cut a nick in that one, the Dremel. Hi, Hickoties. Oh, it's a let's get this sorted. Yeah, it's a right hand. Yep, I got one there. They're both electrofrog points, but if you can see, I don't know if you can quite make it out. You've got the cut in the track here with the two wires that you pull out, but this one doesn't have the cut, so you'd have to make it yourself. So I'm just basically going to be doing what Tim was doing last night, getting the point ready for sorry about that, that'll be the phone. Yeah, so getting the point ready for using the seat motor. These are some old express points I have. The spring's been removed out of them. So I'm going to use the SEEP PM4s, which I've got the latching mechanism on to latch them into place. Put the soldering iron on to heat up. So I've pulled those two little wires off, and then I'm going to solder wires across there for droppers, solder a green wire onto there for the frog, and then I can put it down, mark where I want it. Hi Carl, how's it going? Hi Charlie, how you doing, sir? This is going here. So, being a bit frugal with my red and black wire, so I'm starting to run out. I'm trying to make it last, so I'm sort of measuring every time I need to cut it. I'll get these ready, and then I'll swing the camera around to the workbench. So you can see what I'm doing. Under. You're gonna have another cold one, are you, Charlie? Yes, I've had a trim, a COVID cut. Let me see if I can put this around onto the workbench. My fold-out workbench. So, oh, that's the wrong point. Dab of flux on where I'm going to put the wires. You don't want too much flux because it can cause the solder to run too much and then it can run around onto your rails. And I'll tin the ends of the, so dab them in the flux, run them across the end of the soldering iron. Normally I would have a fan going to keep the fumes out of my face. Yeah, I got to the barber last year just before the next lockdown. That's why it was last November, I think, before I the flux I use is this stuff. You can see I'm over halfway through the tub. Is what I picked up at my local hardware because that's all I could get. I think it's actually designed for plumbing, for soldering copper pipes together. But it does the job here fine. Maybe you can see there, and there's 4 rails where I've just put a blob of solder onto it, each rail. So now I'm going to put a wire across 2 of the rails. So making sure I have it, my orientation right. So the black is going to go onto the curved to keep the black wire at the back. This is always the tricky bit. You're trying not to melt the plastic and burn your fingers at the same time. Something about having a green cutting mat. It's very hard to find the green wire when you put it down. There we go. Here we go. Now for a little bit of heat shrink. Yeah, on my StreamYard where it says when you're doing it up on the top where it says live and how many minutes you've been live for, there's a little eye symbol with a number. At the moment it's telling me there's 11 people watching. And if I'm not using my other PC in here for Railmaster, I have that on my page with the video going. Now, this is what Tim was doing last night. He took the spring out of his because he's using the slow action motors. The spring's already been taken out of these ones, so I'm using the SEEP point motors. That's the solenoid ones. But the SEEP PM4s, because they've got a latch on them to hold them in place. The mic I've got is a Rode mic. That's the little receiver there that's plugged into my laptop. And then this attaches on here. It's rechargeable. It's just showing me now it's going into the red. But I have little battery packs like this, just your normal phone battery chargers to plug in if they start going too flat. Hi, Tim. Hi, Finbar. Right, that heat shrinks on, so we'll just run the soldering iron along it just to help it shrink down. Right, so that's that. Right, I'll turn the camera around again. So I was saying, right, check the wire. Yeah, black is to the back. So just put that in place again to where I want it. Check the spacing. Right. So now I can mark where droppers are going down. And then what I do is I hold the blades in the center position. And then I just put the pin vise through to mark where I want the hole. And take that away. And take my nice pink ruler. I know this hole where the frog is, where I marked it. It's about 1 centimeter back where the actual wire goes down. So I just mark that. Mark the other hole and then leave the other hole. So now to fit the point motor, I take my pin vise. This is a 1mm bit. And I drill all the way through the baseboard, making sure it's at 90 degrees. We don't end up at an angle. Oh, installing point. Which ones are you using, Tim? You're using the slow action ones. Is it the tortoise or the DCC ones, or? Yeah, the numbers go up and down all the time, Pete, as people pop in and out. No, I'm not using my cell phone. I've got a Microsoft webcam plugged into the laptop that I'm using. I think it's Life Cam, I think they call it. It's quite an old one. It's a HD one, but I've had it 6 or 7 years now. It seems to give out a decent picture. And then when I'm doing multiple cameras, I'm just using my my different mobiles I have. I have a couple of old ones. An old Samsung, and then I got my own Note 4, which is what I use for doing the normal videos, filming the videos that I use, along with this Rode mic. Anyway, back to the so this is a SEEP point motor. I don't know if you can just make out that spring, if it'll focus. There you are. That spring there, that's the latching spring. So if you have a point motor with the spring broken or the spring removed, you can use this type of motor to latch it in place. You also notice the terminals for using the switch on there to send electric to the point. Hi, Kieran. Now, one thing with these is you've got to make sure you put it in the right way when you install it. So if you install it that way or that way around, it will throw a different current or a different positive or negative to the frog. So you've got to make sure you put it in the right way around. So it's the same as my wiring convention, because you got was it points D and E where the droppers are connected to go onto the bus wire. So D is the positive and E is the negative, the black. So again, when you put it, the orientation is you make sure when you put it underneath, the black wire is towards the back, and that keeps you right. Yeah, that's it, Charlie. Yeah, either email or I just use Facebook Messenger and just send that. So anyway, I've drilled that hole, which is big enough for the wire to go through from the point motor. And then I've got this little bit of plastic that keeps the pin centralized. And I feed it up through the hole. I use just a little crocodile clip just to stop it dropping back out again. Now that hole is central on the point, and also the point motor is now central with that little piece of plastic. So now what I do now is I just screw the point motor in place, and then that gives me the screw holes, and then I take it out, and then I drill the 10mm hole. They seem reliable so far, Hitgot. I say the PM4 is for use with points that have had the springs broken or missing. And they're the same price as well, so there's not a massive difference. So point motor's in place. I'm using some little 3x12 screws to screw it in place. Now, to aid yourself even further, if you've got some double-sided sticky tape, you can put that on there just to hold it in place while you screw it in. But doing it this way, it makes the holes ready for the screws. So when you assembling and putting it back together, the screw holes are already there. You just screw it in, and you know it's in the right position. So you just have to make sure the orientation of the actual switch is correct so it throws correctly. And this is where it's very handy if you design your baseboard to flip up so you can work underneath it easily instead of reaching in underneath. But thankfully it's ply, so the screws go in quite easily to it. So there, I've screwed it to the base. Now I'll take it out. So I've got screw holes marked, so I can just, once I've drilled the holes, just screw it back into place. Yeah, I'm not too bad, Tim. You can see what I got done here over the weekend. Got my double slips in these points. So this is coming into the station here. So this will enable trains to cross all 4 tracks. And then I'm putting these other points in here to go off to my engine shed and TMD. So I've almost got all the track laying done. Now, where's my drill? Oh, do you know which jab she got, Tim? Right, I'm going to do some drilling now, so it might get a bit loud, guys. Got my tray underneath to catch all the dust. Yeah, Tim, I'm just wondering, like, I'm designing all this now, laying it out how I want it. I'm wondering how long it'll be down before I decide to rip it up and go, no, let's change this, let's move this around. Go. You want to make sure that you remove any loose stuff around the edges, especially around where the point motor is going, because you don't want it dropping into the motor and filing it up, or just getting in the way of the throw. The inner track is, I've tried to keep the smallest radius to about 1/3 radius, so it's about 21 inch. Right, now that's in place. I can, I was going to say put the point motor on, but I need to put the wires on it first. Oh, AstraZeneca. I don't know if I'm doing a diode matrix for this one yet. Certainly these switches here, which are just going to be, I'll be operating these switches off one switch. So they'll either be set to go across each other or straight. So that'll be one switch operating both of these sets. I don't know. I probably will do a diode matrix because I have to do a diode matrix for the shelf below for that turn out, because this is the opposite of what's on the other side where I did do the diode matrix. I say diode matrix, just a pretty simple one, just diodes across each switch. But yeah, I will be doing something. I'm not sure what yet. I just want to have the drains on it, have them working, and see what sort of way they can go through the points. Right, let's cut a piece of cork for that. Hi, David. Oh, hi, Rachel. You popped in. Just using the pencil to mark the holes for the wires and point to pop through. Just pick off a few bits of the cork just so they can throw easily. Just those together. Just makes it easier to feed it through. I'm trying not to stab myself because I haven't cut down these pins yet until I have everything in place, wired up, and test it. I've tested it by manually throwing it and it's working fine, but I want to make sure it works when I use the solenoids. So if I can get these switches in over today and then start making up the panel. There we go. Right, that's fine. Could do with a little bit more light over here. I'm working in my shadow. Sorry, anyone who's got headphones on. Right, point motor. Right, now I need to wire up the point motor. Right, I'll move the camera again. I'll see if this lead's long enough to put it down on the workbench. Right, I've just plugged the charger into the receiver. Last time I done that, there was a whining. So if you hear a high-pitched squeal or anything, guys, just let me know. One yellow. I'm measuring everything out so I can save as much as possible, because it is just a real pain for me to try and get anything at the moment like this. Right, so that's the 3 for the switch. Powering the solenoid. I need 2. And then I need a mix of green. So, I want to heat up. Get the old wire strippers. So I'll strip a little bit off each end, tin them, Oh, I wasn't hungry until I came out here and started working. So I'm sticking with my own wiring convention, so I know what each wire means. So twist the ends. Now it's a case of yeah, hasn't quite heated up yet, so give that another minute. I'll check the comments while I was doing that. If I missed any questions, guys, just throw them back into the comments again. Don't forget to hit the like button for me and subscribe if you're new here. I know this is a bit, probably a bit far away, but the video that's coming out Friday will be a close-up of how I wire these point motors and fit them and everything. So this means now a little bit of flux makes it so much easier. Right, so what I do on the terminals is I just put a little bit of flux on each terminal, and then I will tin these. So a little bit. I don't know if that's picking it up. I'll just do that on each terminal. You really don't want the soldering iron to linger too much because you don't want to damage. So just a little bit of solder on each of the terminals. Just makes it a bit easier. And keep your tip as clean as you can. Okay, so yellow to pointer A, and the longer black to C, which is the common. Then D, which is the shorter red for the feed going to the bus wire. And E is a short feed. It's the negative side of the bus wire. I remember that by E is the second letter of negative. That's just the way I remember it. And where's the green wire? And then F is for the frog. And Kermit the Frog is green, so that's the green wire. And then B is the other side of the solenoid. So that goes with the longer red wire. That's that done. There, it doesn't take very long at all. Right, I'll move the camera back over now. And this is the fiddly little bit. Trying to get the point motor up. Again, remember the orientation. So I have the black wire there, so I want that to go to the back. So it's got to go like that. And that way, when it throws, it puts the correct current to the frog. Here we go. Oh, where did I put that crocodile clip? That's just handy just for holding it there while you sort out the screwdriver. Where did I put the screwdriver? I just had it a minute ago. Where did I put it? Right. I can't see it for looking now. Got the screws. Where's the screwdriver? Yeah, and the same, Karen. You're like, I just put that down. Where did it go? And then you find it's right in front of you somewhere. No, I can't actually see it. So I'm going to have to use a different one. This one hasn't got quite the right size crosshead on the top. So, but seeing the holes already made, it should work okay. This is what makes it so easy to do, because you've already screwed it in once the holes are there. And away you go. Here we go, it's in. Right, now I'll just join up the frog. And I can switch on the power and just test it by manually throwing it, make sure everything's correct. I'll take these wires. So these are for the to go to the switch panel. Put these through, get them out of the way. Tie a little, not a tight knot, just loop them together so it keeps them together out of the way. There's my droppers off the point. Didn't strip that in. I do have a little head torch somewhere that I wear when I'm doing this sort of things. When you're reaching under the baseboard, it makes things a lot easier. All right. The question is, when I switch on the power, will it work or will it just short out? Right, it hasn't shorted. My little tester. Can you see that? And that side's dead. So now if I manually throw it, it works. That side's dead. There we go. 1 point done. 3 to go. Yeah, I still don't know where that screwdriver is. I had to use another one. Yeah, it'll turn up when I'm looking for something else. So that's that point in, wired up, ready to go. Now we'll put this one in. I've already got this pre-wired. So I need to make sure I put insulating fish plates on that. So again, it should be in. I'll put a piece of track in just to make sure my spacing is correct. So I'd done a lot of the droppers over the weekend that hadn't been actually put onto the bus wire. Got them done. Got a good bit of this crossing done. Because once this is done, then I can have trains running across it, test it all. That's probably where the problems will start. You know, last weekend I had the same thing. I had a point and it just kept shorting out, shorting out, shorting out. I didn't know what it was. I spent hours checking all the wiring. And I just went away and left it. And then I came back out the next day, looked at the point, and I hadn't put insulating fish plates on. After spending hours looking at it, trying to sort it out, it was something simple like that. Hi, Brendan. Brendan McGee. Is that the Brendan I think it is? So that's the position I want that point in. So again, mark the frog, mark where the droppers go down, hold the blade central, put it through the hole, and mark. And just drill all the way down the pin voice. So how did you discover, Brendan? And does Jennifer know? Yellow-handed one is on the bench. Yellow-handed what? The screwdriver I lost is a Phillips head. A red one like that. But it's got a different cross head on it, which fits in the screw much better than that one. Well, Brendan, you must be really bored if you're coming on here. For everybody, Brendan is my number 2 daughters. That's not 2 as in preference, but my second daughter. Friend, boyfriend, we're not quite sure. There we go. Again, hold it in place. Make sure it's the right orientation. And then just use screw it in place. And then you've got it ready for taking out and drilling the holes. Oh, we've gone past the hour. Right, I'm going to call it a day there, guys, because I have an appointment at 2 o'clock I need to get to. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to carry on working on this evening if I can get out here. So hopefully maybe tomorrow we'll have some trains running. If not, I'll be finishing this bit off. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care. Don't forget to hit that like for me and subscribe if you're new here. And I'll catch you tomorrow again at half 12. So take care, everyone. See you tomorrow.